Hi, I'm Gohar Vardanyan, and this is Strings by Male Repertoire series. In this video, I'll be reading through another valse by French composer Thierry Tisserand, and I'm really honored because he dedicated this valse to me after seeing the video of his Le Valse des Fans. This valse is called Le Valse Opaline, and it's number 3 in volume 2 of 3 valses. This valse would be perfect for someone with at least intermediate playing abilities. And I say that because there are a few bars, some slurs, and quick running notes that might make it too difficult for a beginner. The valse is very well notated in terms of fingerings, articulation markings, and dynamic markings. There are just a couple of fingering suggestions I was going to make it easier to execute. And the first one is right in the opening in measure 2. So if you follow, here in measure 2, you have an A that's written with the first finger, followed by a bar chord in the 3rd fret. So here. And there's nothing wrong with the fingering here, but it does force you to jump from a curved finger on the 1st string to an open finger to the 3rd fret and all the way to the 5th string. To make it a little easier, I would suggest playing that A with the hinge bar. By a hinge bar, I mean you're gonna play that A with the bottom part of your 1st finger, just as if you're gonna put on a bar, but you're not gonna place the whole bar down and mute the strings that are supposed to be ringing. So you're just pressing with the bottom part of your 1st finger. This allows you to be in position, ready to play a bar that's coming up in the next measure. So all you have to do is just shift back. Instead of not only shifting back, but also jumping to the bar position. So I have the difference between this and this. With the hinge bar, though it might be a little bit more difficult to get used to at first, it does allow you to be more legato. And it's a good technique to develop for not only this piece, but any other piece that you come across that makes the situation easier by preparing ahead of time and already putting your finger in a bar position. The same thing would apply in measures 28 going into 29. The way it's written, it's here, then 2 on the B, and then a bar in the 7th fret. Right, so you have 2, and then you have to move forward and place a bar, and a D on the fourth finger. So I found it to be easier to play to here, a G. Then while I'm traveling, I'm just going to go just 1 fret over and place the first finger in a hinge bar position. That way I can just flatten the first finger, press down, and add the 4 in one motion instead of going from 2 and switching, or this. So again, this might be harder for you at first, but it does eliminate a step in between switching. Just basically you're doing it in one step instead of. Both of them work. Number one thing is to make sure that your fingering choices are dictated by the music and by the kind of effect that you want. So if you want this to be tight as much as possible, by tight I mean legato, then I would suggest doing it in one swoop instead of going from 2 to 1. So that's basically it for fingering. Everything else works perfectly. My other suggestion is to be careful with the doubled slurs, and you will find them in numerous places, like measure 5, 6, 7, measure 7. Basically you have open strings, you're going to slur both notes, and then restrike open strings. What you have to be careful of is having your left hand land at different times. See here, I'm letting my second finger land before my first finger, and it creates this uneven effect. You want to avoid that. You want to land at the same time, as if you were going to play the notes. If you're going to pluck them, you're not going to do. So you want to avoid that effect when you're slurring them. And that comes up in different places. One is in measure 7, same thing in measure 9, and also in that same measure we just did. This might be even more difficult because you're locked into this position and you're supposed to slur with the middle fingers, especially involving the third finger, which is usually weaker. So be careful when you practice. Don't let your fingers land whenever they want to. I think with those suggestions you'll be able to handle the rest of the piece. If you want to order it, I'll link a direct link to the Strings by Mail catalog for this piece. Thank you for watching.